Yeah, so this is Baruch Fleischman. We're listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we're in a new section. This is lesson number 3, and Rabbi MIMRAN calls it Understanding the Spiritual World, Interconnectedness. How's this work? Now, Rabbi MIMRAN is interested in physics, and I think that anyone who studies Kabbalah, I see that people who have a natural tendency to be interested in physics and what's going on in the world have a natural understanding of the Ari and other higher levels of Jewish mysticism. So quantum mechanics and modern physics. So this will be a little longer. We'll go right to it. Your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness, how you see the world. On a simple level, this can be understood by seeing everything red through a red pair of glasses. When you are in a bad mood, the entire world seems negative. Therefore, your consciousness combined with your perspective creates the world that you inhabit. One of the greatest insights that has come out of modern physics is that of the unity between the observer and the observed. Now, what does that mean? The person conducting the experiment, the observing consciousness, cannot be separated from the observed phenomenon, and a different way of observing causes the observed phenomenon to behave differently. Now, he says not that it looks differently. It says that the way that you look at it, the observer looks at it, causes the behavior to change. Interesting. If you believe on a deep level in separation and the struggle for survival, then you will see that belief reflected all around you, and your perceptions will be governed by fear. You'll inhabit a world of struggle, fighting, killing, and destruction. Nothing is what it seems to be. The world that you create and see through the egoic mind, my honor is most important, and I died on the battlefield for my honor, so the egoic mind may seem a very imperfect place. It is how your consciousness interprets and interacts with the molecular structure of the universe. Now, let me read this again. He said, the world that you create and see through your egoic mind, that's the line of honor and self-protection, may seem at a very imperfect place. And it is how your consciousness interprets and interacts with the molecular structure of the universe. That's a little complicated. This energy is the raw material of the so-called physical reality. Physicists have proven that there is no true solidity in the world, since all is made up of a molecular dance of particles. Now, he says they're moving, giving the appearance that it's solid matter. Seen through a powerful microscope, 1,000,000 times the power of the eye, will reveal the fact to all non-observers that everything is really scattered and moving, he said. An infinite number of completely different interpretations or completely different worlds is possible, and in fact exists, all depending on the perceiving consciousness. Yet all worlds are ultimately one. Every being is a focal point of consciousness, and every such focal point creates its own perceived world, although all those worlds are interconnected. Now, that's a little bit complicated, and he says, simply put, we are all individual worlds, so that the Kabbalah really speaks of us as we're universes by ourselves. As stated in the Mishnah in Sanhedrin, saving one life is like saving the entire world. Nevertheless, we are all interdependent, one to the other, as stated by Chazal in the Gemara, which is the Talmud in Masechta Shavuos 39a. Kol Yisrael Aravim Ezel Lezel. All of the people of Israel, the Jewish people, are all interconnected one to the other. There is a human world, an animal world, a plant world, and so on and so forth. There are countless beings whose generic makeup, and I think he meant genetic makeup, is so different from yours that you are probably unaware of their existence, as they are of yours. On the other hand, highly conscious people can sense their connectedness with the source of all things that are within. Our collective human mind is largely created through the level of consciousness we call mind. Even within the collective human world, there are vast differences, many different subworlds, depending on the perceivers or the creators of the respective worlds. Since all worlds are interconnected, when collective human consciousness becomes transformed, nature and the animal kingdom will reflect that transformation. Now, exactly what does he mean? Let's try to get in. Hence the statement by the prophet in Isaiah, that in the coming age, the wolf and the lamb will feed together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox, and dust will be the serpent's food. They will neither harm nor destroy on my entire holy mountain, says Hashem. This points to a completely different order of reality. Now in Kabbalah, this is called the Aliyah of Malchus, which is our individual egoic physicality, our struggle to survive in a physical world, moving to a level which is hidden behind us, the level beyond life. When we speak of a gap in your mental stream, a state of no mind, this is what Rabbi MIMRAN has been talking about how to empty our minds and just become the observer and listener. We are not describing any kind of a traceable, or he says trance-like rather, state. We're not describing going into a trance. In separating ourselves from our thoughts and simply listening to them, there is no loss of consciousness whatsoever. In fact, the very opposite is true. If the cost of peace would be a lowering of your consciousness, and the cost of stillness were a lack of vitality and alertness, then peace and stillness would not be worth having. In this ideal state of interconnectedness, though, if you can connect, that we are aiming for, you are actually much more alert, more awake than you could ever be in that other, more common state of identifying with your mind. When you are connected with yourself, you are fully present. It has been proven by physicists that everything in the universe has a particular vibration. Let's call it a level of vibration. Everything vibrates at its own specific frequency. Can you believe that actually your body is producing vibrations as the blood flows through your body, as the nerves transmit different energies through different places in your body, that we don't think that this is also producing sort of a wave or vibration level? We can compare this to radio waves. Choosing a station will depend on the frequency of that wave you are turning into. Vibrational frequencies are similar. Sciences have shown through many laboratory tests that the unseen world or subatomic world of quantum mechanics can raise or lower one's vibratory frequency simply by one's thoughts. The faster the vibration, the more unseen or spiritual a person or object becomes. Moreover, raising one's frequency raises the vibrational frequency of the surrounding energy that gives life to one's physical body, so it is certainly worthwhile to think, feel, and act in ways that will raise one's frequency. Now, one way to significantly raise your vibrational frequency is to reach more deeply into the realm of no mind and achieve a state of pure consciousness devoid of any extraneous trappings. In that state, you feel your own presence with such intensity and such joy that all thinking, all emotions, even your physical body, in fact, the entire external world, become relatively insignificant in comparison to what you are experiencing. Yet this is not a selfish state. On the contrary, it is altogether selfless, for it enables you to transcend yourself, or at least what you used to think of as yourself. The connectedness of a consciousness, the presence that you feel is essentially you, while at the same time it is inconceivably greater than you. Just as no sound can exist without silence, one needs opposites in the world that we live in order to be able to see clearly. Nothing can exist without no thing. Coming into the end of emptiness, mental emptiness, without the empty space that enables it to be. Every physical object or body has come out of nothing. It's surrounded by nothing, and it will eventually return to nothing. Now, this is a really, really difficult but deep thought that we have to understand, that we are, as in my mind, in reading this, it is that we are as like individual actors on a stage. And the stage is a stage of nothingness, but we are acting anyway. So to protect ourselves, that's how we get into the egoic state, because we're surrounded by the fact that we exist, but we're surrounded by nothing, and we'll return to nothing. The nothing is something beyond our realm. So he says, and eventually return to nothing. Even inside every physical body, there is far more nothing than something. Physicists will tell you that the solidity of matter is an illusion. What? I'm saying I have this book right here in my hand. Even seemingly solid matter, including your physical body, is nearly 100% empty space. So vast are the distances between the atoms compared to their size. What is more, even inside every atom there is mostly empty space. What is left is more like a vibrational frequency than particles of solid matters. That has been known for thousands of years. All is but illusions, as stated by the wise king Solomon. The blurb at the end. Kol Yisrael, Aravim Zeh Lezeh, all the Jewish people are really responsible, are tied together. All of the people of Israel interconnected, he says, one to the other. Join us. This is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, learning how to clear our minds and to focus on that eternity which lies within us.